All
All
right.
right. Thank you, everyone, for being here today to the Travel PA Your Way to Wealth community. If it's your first time, thank you for coming. This is a community where we talk everything about travel PA and building wealth. And this is a safe space for all of us. So, this is part two of AI being your back office for 1099 and locum tenens. And Addie, thank you again for doing this. We still have part three next week, so stay tuned. All right, Addie, we may have some new people here. If you can please go ahead and let the people know how wonderful you are and
Oh,
who you
thank
are
you.
and how we met, and then we could just continue.
All right. So, people, first of all, thank you for joining us this beautiful evening. I'm based out of North Carolina here in Charlotte, and it's been over a year I met Fedna, and I think it feels like eternity because we connected in different ways. Every time we talk, there's some beautiful ideas that come out of every single talk we have. But on the top of everything, I've been into marketing and technology for the past 35 years, and I've seen all the major transitions that's happened so far, the web, digitization of infrastructure and the internet, and now AI. And I think by far AI trumps all of them because the transition is just too big and too important. But I also kind of focus on how to leverage technologies and especially new technologies to apply it to everyday use. Because not all of us are developers, not all of us have that skill to build systems, but every new technology applies to us. And that is what this webinar series or this masterclass series is about. Jumping right into it. Last week we talked about how to install Claude, how to make sure you got the settings right, how to get the basic stuff out of the way, which is Claude checking your emails, creating drafts for you, and kind of scheduling stuff day in, day out, which is like the core of any professional or entrepreneur that emails, messaging, and just getting your life together. So that was what we covered in the last session. If you're joining for the first time, I will be sending out the recording from the last session and this session over to you once we are done. But you can catch up on that, and it was beautiful. We shared some nice value pieces there. Today, we're going to focus on our amazing PA community because I know every year the only confirmed visits I make is to my PA. So I got to take care of them because they're there. They take care of me. So this entire session for the next 45 minutes, please hang around. We're going to talk about three key things that every PA or likely every healthcare professionals come across, which is managing your contracts, checking your contracts, whether there are pain points in the contract which you might need to be aware of, or state laws which you might need to be aware of, or sometimes I've personally run into situations where a contract comes in, but it is not applicable to me in the state I live in. So you can kind of highlight those facts, how to go around that. So we're going to go over that. Then we're going to go over finances, which is dump in every piece of financial information, including scanning your emails, and have Claude do the heavy lifting of building your taxes for you, which you can just hand over to your CPA and they take it from there. But all the Excelling, Google Sheeting, and all of that is taken care of by Claude. The last thing we're going to do, which is kind of important to the PA community, is your credentials. So I know you have to kind of renew licenses or go through different process of getting credentials in your respective fields. So we're going to look at how Claude can automate and track that for you. For example, if a credential just came in notifying you that the email has been received, putting the documents in the right folder and creating a whole history of all your credentials when they're going to expire and letting you know that the renewal is coming up. And then we're going to talk about automation, which is primarily automating all of this so you never have to worry about doing this manually. And then we'll open up for Q&A. So without much further ado, let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. All right. Okay, so I hope y'all can see my Claude screen. Pretty much, I've been living in Claude for the past 4 months, and I've built amazing stuff. But let me show you how to get started um, with the contracts part first. Now, what I've done is, as we discussed in the last class, is always connect a folder. So I'm going to give you a highlight of what the folder actually looks like. Fedna, is there an option to share my screen? Because the
Oh, are
window,
you still? I thought, okay, let me make you host. Oh, you are the host.
yeah, but it's
It's not allowing you to share your screen still.
when I share all windows,
Let me see one more
entire
thing.
desktop. Okay, I think I got it.
Host choose for share.
Yeah, let me try again because I think.
Let me do this.
Okay, please.
Is it working or not?
Not yet.
All right, how about who can share with someone who will share? All participants. Okay, try now.
Uh, Still says application windows. Finder, screen sharing. No, it's still application windows. I wonder why though. Let me
I
see.
gave share to just about everybody. So
Let me see. Please bear with us. It's gonna only take a second. Uh, Scale, share by choose, share all windows, share entire desktop. That is done. And lastly, yeah, so let me try again. For some reason,
who can share all participants? Who can share when someone else is sharing? All participants.
yeah, still not doing it. But let me do it other ways. So
All right. And then we'll have to try to figure out the Zoom thing.
yeah, we'll go with that.
Sharon, I'm not sure why it's doing that either.
Okay, anyway, so here we go. Let's hope this works. Finder and Claude. Okay. All right, so you can see Claude, but you cannot see. Yeah, still not sure. Okay, never mind. So what I'll do is I will first show them the folder. All right, so I'm going to show you the folder that contains all the
Yep.
documents. Now, disclaimer. Go ahead, Fed.
It says that he can see the Claude folders. That's what he's supposed to see, right?
Yep,
Is that
yep.
what you're sharing?
Right now, yes.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim. So, all right. So, what I wanted to show was, first of all the documents, contracts, and receipts, expense receipts that I bought today are all templates because I didn't want to share any private data for any person, but they kind of match closely to how you might get contracts or receipts from restaurants or your gas station receipts and stuff like that. So this what I did essentially to kind of make it simple is put them into certain folders. So we have contracts, locum tenens contracts, W-2 contracts. We have taxes where we have the deduction documents. We have income documents from both 1099 and W-2. We have incoming receipts, photos, or emails. And then we have your credentialing folder and your automation. Now, the beauty is, I didn't actually do it. I dumped everything into a single folder and asked Claude, can you categorize and organize all of these files? So what you see here is actually not done by me. And that also, just a quick hint, if you want to organize a folder on your computer, whether it's a Mac or a Windows, there's a connector which is called MCP for Mac or Windows. and you
M
can
M
literally,
M like Mary.
yep, I'm going to show you quickly because
Okay.
that's a really amazing tool which you can use and ask Claude to control your computer and organize stuff for you, even browse the web for you.
That's
So
crazy.
let me take you back to Claude. All right. Now, once you have a folder which has all your files dumped in, it doesn't matter if you were able to organize it or not. There's another tool which you can use, as we discussed last time, was connecting your Outlook or Gmail in the connections in the settings. Quickly, just go to settings, connectors, and connect your Gmail or Outlook email, whichever you use. So Claude can now read and create drafts for your emails. But more than that, what Claude can do, since it can read your emails, is watch for things coming into your emails. Now, how does that help you? Is when you receive a contract or you receive a W-2, a 1099, or primarily any document that applies to your profession, you can set up a system where Claude notices what's coming in and based on a prior prompt, does actionable intel on that email. So what I mean by that. So let's first go over the contract. So in this folder, as I showed you, I have the locum tenens and a W-2 contract, which I want to analyze. Now, here's a prompt I made, and don't worry, you're gonna get all the prompts that I'm about to share today. But for the sake of time, I just copy paste in, but I'm going to read it out. So analyze the physician assistant locum tenens contract against California law, flag anything that may be unforceable or unfavorable to me, and explain why. Now, since it's in a folder already categorized, I'm just going to say in simple words, the contract is in the working folder. Now, what is a working folder? Is simply the folder that you have attached. It could be a dump of all your files. It could be pretty much anything. It'll search and find out where that file is. Now, important thing to note, as it goes through the folder, it's going to find what's inside the file. So your file names actually do not matter. So please don't waste your time renaming files. I usually have Claude rename the files if I mess up on the file naming. Now, it is found out there's a California local tenants contract. Let me read it. Uh, uh, Thing to note again, I did not direct it to the file. I just directed it to the folder. So let's see what it comes up with. And one thing Claude is really good at, which I may point out at this juncture, is it is amazing at law because there's a whole module that was built by Anthropic, which is an engine behind Claude, that it has read and understood every law across the United States in all states. So if there is something that gets highlighted, you're more informed when you take that information to your attorney or to your contractor and discuss it with them. Now it says, I've analyzed the contract. How do you want it? So right now, let's do a chat, but you can create a Word document, markdown file. A markdown file is primarily to be used with other AI assistants. So I don't generally use that, or you can even say generate a PDF if you want, but let's do chat now. So my question was anything that is unfavorable to me or unforceable. Now, I'll verify the current state of a few key California statuses before writing the analysis. So here you go. Not only it's consulting its own memory of law, but it is also searching all the recent updates throughout the internet. So it will not give you an answer based off what it already knows. It will also check for you if there were updates in the recent past and then build its decision based off all this information. You do not need to know where to go hunting for that information. So let's give it I think another 20 seconds. Oh, it's ready. So uh, sometimes it's really fast. All right. So it'll always give you the disclaimer that I'm not a lawyer or attorney and blah, blah, blah. I usually skip that. But there's a big one for most, because most other issues flow from it. The contract
Mhm.
called you a 1099 contractor, but the fact it describes point hard at employee status under the California's ABC test, and it also brought in the labor code for
The
you.
85, yeah.
And then it'll tell you that under the ABC test, there are three prongs to call you a contractor. It fails on at least two. Then it'll tell you why it matters. Terms likely enforceable, non-compete. As I know rightly, in California, you do not have something called non-compete across all businesses by law. So that does not apply. Then patient and employee non-solicitation, likely void too. Liquid damages per violation, enforceable on two fronts. So you get the gist. Like every
Yeah.
time I've come up with legal information or discovery through Claude, it has always been accurate. Case in point, there was a issue I was dealing with my attorneys. The information I gave them was 100% accurate. Having said that, you don't need to rely on Claude, but it just makes you better informed and kind of what to fight, look out for things to fight for on your behalf. Uh, Once you're done and once you're satisfied, you can do two things. Either you can tell Claude that create a draft email to my attorney and send all these points or a summary of these points, or you can generate a PDF which you share in turn with the attorney or the contractor or whomsoever you're dealing with and you want a conversation on this. Here's how I would take it one step further is now that you have got information and you realize most of the time I've realized that not all of this is something you want to discuss. There might be key points, other things you might be okay with just to get the job done. And if that comes to you, you can literally say, don't write, just copy paste. So I would say, okay, only these two things apply to me. I would copy paste it here and I would say, okay, I like only these two, or these two are worth fighting over. Can you create a warm email and ask for clarification on this? And that is it. So now this is per California law. There was another W-2 contract, which is, I think it was state of Florida. So what I did was, what if it's not a 1099 and it's a W-2, which I think a lot of people fall under that category. And in I might just ask a straight up question that can you check the Florida PA employment contract in this non-compete in the non-compete section 4, is it enforceable? And if a court won't enforce it as written, how might it be modified? Now, I just got to tell it that there is also, oh my God, there is also a W-2 contract. That is it. Analyze and give me the answer. So what I suggest is anytime you do go in a contract, and even if you feel that the contract might be okay or there's no ways to around it, like you cannot get it changed, which
Mhm.
sometimes does apply to healthcare, that they will enforce things on you, just be more informed. Because I've seen when you're informed, as you go ahead with that contract or employment, there are things on your mind that, oh, yes, that is something worth remembering while being on the job. And that also applies to my own business when someone sends me a contract. Just being aware of things to look out for makes me a better contractor for that business. So let's look at the Florida contract, then we'll move over to the next section, which is I think much more engaging. But then again, it'll search everything for you based out of Florida and give you the right answers. Uh, if you do want to share, the beauty of Claude is that your limit is only your imagination. You can create emails out of your findings, you can create PDFs, you can create Word documents, you can even create websites or web pages that you can push out to people if you need. So the output doesn't matter at all. Now, in here, it says not enforceable as written. So the question was, um, does it apply in Florida? So unlike California, a Florida court won't throw it out; it will rewrite it, and now it'll break it down for you how to rewrite the contract. What are the changes? Now, I did not have access, as I said, or did not want to bring up actual contracts, but I can guarantee you without a doubt that when you put y'all's contract into this and get it analyzed, there's a lot of amazing things you'll find which either you were not aware of before or might help you going forward to better negotiate. Once you've done this finding, whatever of it applies to you, whether or not, you can go on and kind of ask Claude to help you make better decisions. So these are the findings. Now, I might just say, what are the important points I want to discuss with my employer? And here's the cool part. When you mean employer, in most of the contracts, the employer's name will be there. You can even ask Claude that based off these findings and the employer, can you give me the right guidance how to move forward or negotiate it? What Claude does is it searches up your business or the hospital or whoever is going to employ you or contract you and finds out history about how strict they are. So it'll come up with findings that these they might adjust to your liking, or these are the points not even worth discussing. But all in all, what it does is makes you better informed when you're signing contracts and not get any sort of issues later on in that. Now, this was primarily just finding out, assessing your contracts, and making better informed decisions, which you might do probably once a year, twice a year, depending on how often you change contracts or your employment, but something that you need to do every day, which is your finances. Every single time you step out of the house, I think you end up spending. The first thing we do is all of us get coffee. Now, if you own LLCs or if you do proprietorship business or 1099, you can actually put a lot of those back into the business and claim as expenses. How do you manage that? So let's do another thing. Let's do another chat. Now the demo pack, of course, contains all the files, but here's what I'm going to do. Again, not directing it to the files. I'm going to say a couple of things. Let me paste all of that, and then we'll go over it. All right. So the folder, instead of here, I would just change it to folder contains my W-2s, my 1099s, separate the W-2 wages for myself from my self-employed Schedule C
Hmm.
income, and build me a CPA-ready income summary. And I would say also read, because I don't want it to stop, also read those receipts and add them to my expense tracker under the correct Schedule C category. Remember, meals are 50% deductible. Now, what if we don't tell it that? Estimate my self-employment and federal income for 1099 and tell me what each quarterly payment should be and when it's due. And then I would say something even simpler, which is I want you to prep a CPA ready Google Sheet for me. So it's better if you directed where to create it. It could be a Google Sheet, it could be a Microsoft Excel file. Then it already knows what you're trying to get out of this. And you can throw in more data. I file jointly and I live in this state. Let's try it. So I file jointly and I live in NC. What that does for you or Claude is it background checks the state laws, what's applicable to you or not, and what tax bracket you fall in. Another thing you can ask Claude, which worked for me during this tax filing season for me, is also let me know what are the best ways I can pay less taxes. Everyone loves that. That is all. So it has an entire folder to itself where we essentially dumped everything. And I'm asking it to build a CPA-ready statement. And I'm asking it to build my expense statement, my incomes, and also suggest tax saving strategies. Now, once it's done, it's going to take probably a couple of minutes. It's already found the tax documents. The amazing thing is, you can automate this. The exact
Mm.
prompt, I will show you how to automate this. It can check your receipts and income statements every other morning from your emails. And on a weekly basis, say every Friday morning, build a whole CPA ready statement for you. So as you move along in your tax year and your employment and contractual business, you can be always ready with your taxes. What I've done at my end is if I go out to dinner and that is tax deductible, it's a business dinner, I would take a picture and email it to myself. So I don't have to worry about uploading it to a folder because it's in my email. Now, Claude knows my email. It checks my email every morning. It'll see that a picture of a receipt just came in. It'll capture that as an expense and update my sheets as we go along. So I'm always 100% up to date on my income and expenses. Things you might do out of the ordinary, like you bought an asset into your business or you did some huge expenditure, which is applicable in your personal taxes or business taxes. You can even send an email to yourself saying that, hey, I bought this asset which is deductible. Can you add it to my worksheet? And the next morning, when Claude checks your email, it'll pick up those instructions along with the files and take it from there. That is the beauty. Like you can actually talk to Claude through your emails, giving it one-off instructions. So let's give it a couple more minutes. It's already gone through the receipts and deduction documents, and there was a sample workbook in there. It's going to look at it. So, why I threw in the sample workbook is if your CPA requires a certain format that, hey, I'm sending you an Excel sheet, use this format to report it back to me, you don't have to do the heavy lift and just put it there. And what Claude will do is from the first time it starts to build your worksheet, is going to take that as the standard template to keep building upon. The amazing thing is the output that you get is fully formatted. All the formulas are working, and all you got to do is email it to your CPA once you verify that everything is in order. Now, one thing of importance, you might have important sensitive information in your documents, your bank statements. If you include them, might have social security numbers or your local addresses, which you might not want to upload it to Claude. So that is why there are two things. One, always work in CoWork, not the chat. The chat is 100% sent out to the cloud to Anthropic for analyzing your data and making the AI better. But in CoWork, it does not send everything over to Anthropic. And I'm going to show you a setting which just came in after our webinar last week, which makes you even more secure. Now, you file jointly, but the folder only contains your W-2s and 1099s. Is there a spouse or other income to include on a joint return? This materially changes your tax bracket. Now, I am just going to say you could either select all the options. I'm going to do it differently this time. I would say my spouse has no income to report this year. And what do you need? So upload to Google Drive, Excel sheet in this folder, or just a summary. I would do let's do Google Drive.
This is good because I try to have Claude go on my, well, on my desktop, and it said it didn't have access, so I need to
Yeah, I'm going to show you that,
connect it.
Fedna, because
Okay. I love
that
that.
is going to be really amazing for you. 'Cause it can do a lot of things. Like I showed it to one of our CRNAs last week, and Claude, she had about I don't know about 500 files on her desktop all over the place, and
Sounds
I
like
asked
me.
Claude to clean all of that up, and it did a fantastic job.
I can't wait to connect it. So what I like about this too is Addie, I don't know if I mentioned this during the session one last week, but I started to create an app from Kimmy Claw specifically for locum tenens,
Yeah.
and it moves so fast, and I think Kimmy Claude got bought,
Yeah.
and I created something, and I couldn't even, you know, give it out to the people I created it for because it was going to be free. It was pretty good, but it was about strategy and organizing things.
Yeah.
And I think this is the best way to utilize AI. I wouldn't, um, I would not be quick to purchase apps because of the experience that I had, because you're going to put all your information out there. We don't know about the privacy stuff. Claude, I think we kind of do, but having a system is better than trusting an app right now,
Yep.
just because we're not sure of these
Yep.
apps. And if people are creating apps too, then you got to think about privacy as well. So those are two things to consider.
No, that is absolutely true. And to kind of add to that, we trust our data with Google, Microsoft, and they've publicly said that anything you upload or your emails or whatever goes through their system is used to train AI, is used to sell your data to other companies for
Oh my
profit.
gosh.
Like you're
There
literally
you
agreeing
go.
to that when you do that. I agree to your terms and
That's true. That's true. Google is actually bad with privacy. So if you use Google, then you have no problem using Claude.
Yep, exactly. And the best part is the reason I like Claude, compared to other AI platforms, is they actively try to give you options to make it more secure. For example, I'm going to show you a setting that came out, as I said, after our last webinar, that you can actually now turn off anything being uploaded to Claude and make it fully secure. Um, just to kind of hit back on what Claude's doing for us, um, it's referred the big beautiful bill. It's also checked the qualified business income for our states, federal level. It's doing its research. And the best part is does this research once for the first time because it's establishing your footprint in the documents it's about to create. Then from there on, it'll already know and remember all of this. So next time it's just going to be a quick update to your Google Sheets or Excel files. Now, I think it's almost done. Once it's done, we'll go over what it created for us. And this conversation doesn't need to stop here. What it produces, you can keep asking, how do I save more taxes? I'm not kidding when I say this. This February, when I was finalizing my taxes, I asked Claude almost 10 times. I think it was more than 10 times. I'm still not satisfied. I want to save more and I want to save more. And it kept bringing up even small facts of tax savings, which some of them were applicable to me. And my tax came down. I'm not kidding this year. Personal taxes came down to one-fourth of what I was about to pay. So it is always good to use Claude as a consultant and see where it takes us from there. Everything confirmed. Deduction is this. NC
This is
flat
so
rate is
impressive. I
4.25.
mean, anybody can benefit from this course.
Anybody. Yeah, this specifically does not just apply to us PAs, but uh,
Yeah.
pretty much anyone.
How do you know if it is hallucinating?
So I
I
used to
like
believe
that.
that, and that is why I always cross-check my data. But in the past 2 or 3 months, unless you ask it to generate something for you, which does not exist, it will not hallucinate.
Mm.
Because the beauty of Claude Cowork is that it is working inside from a folder. So that is kind of the boundary you've given Claude Cowork to work within. And same thing applies to your email. So it has no chance of hallucinating. The most hallucinations I get are actually, believe it or not, from the king of AIs, which is ChatGPT. Oh my God, it'll hallucinate the most amazing facts for you to the point that you'll
It's crazy.
absolutely believe it. But so far, frankly, I haven't found much trouble, although I do verify, double check everything. and you don't need to. I'll show you how to ask Claude to verify your data before you send it to your CPA. So that's also something built in. All right, go into my Google Drive. Let me actually open my Google Drive in a separate folder, then I'll share that. Okay, it's about to finish. As we progress, if you have any other questions, please keep throwing that to me. I would love to answer them. It should not take more than a minute. If I
Thank
may
you,
ask,
Addie.
what is the typical workflow for a PA to manage their finances? Do they like keep sending all their stuff to bookkeepers, or do they spend the last year cursing that, oh my God, this is so much work? Like, what is a typical day in a PA's lifestyle to manage finances, if I may ask?
Yeah, if anybody want to speak on that, because I definitely have my opinions. What I see is we're no different from anybody else from the general population. People are looking for structure because they just don't know. They don't know what they don't know. They look for referrals, they look for CPAs, and they network with people. Um, and people are creating things for them because this is like a pain point and this is a problem. I think most 1099 PAs and locum PAs, they tend to be a little bit more proactive. They don't wait for last minute. I mean, they can, but I do see people just proactively collecting the data and the documents and at least setting them aside and having business credit cards, right? That keeps them organized because that will serve as their receipts.
Hmm.
So I think people are trying to create a system that works for them.
Well, that then in that case, this system will 100% work for you because if you have the habit of putting all your files and data together, even if it's not every day, um, and most of your sources of that data are either through emails or files sent over to you or pictures you took, then you're covered on all three fronts. Because I don't feel that nowadays you have data coming mostly from mail. And even if you do, like your certifications might be coming in mail or your licenses might be coming in mail. Uh, the best way I have found to manage my business certifications is as they come in and I put them in a file, which I'm probably never going to see again. I take a picture and send it to myself over email.
Okay.
Great question. Is everyone in here a PA? Well, Fedna would know all about that.
Well, yeah, I just asked that question. I know I have a couple of people in here that I'm not quite sure, but I would love to know if you guys are not PA, I would love to know yeah, what industry you're in. And if you are a PA, if you're 1099 or W-2. So yeah, drop it in the chat or feel free to unmute yourself. Um, Claude is taking a while, which is doing deep research. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's actually, let me see where it's stuck at. Yeah, it's actually the first time it creates a Google sheet, it takes a little
Mhm.
time because it's formatting all the rows, putting in all the formulas, and give it in a clean look.
Mhm.
1099 PA. Awesome.
And well, Tim, I definitely know you appreciate this.
Yep, I can see the file, but it's been worked on. So while we wait for this, again, if you have questions, please throw it in there. Let me look at what I can share so we don't slow this down. Another thing, next thing I want to share is your licensing and accreditations that you might have. So, Fedna, if I may ask, or
Yep.
cool, thanks, Jim. So, Fedna, if I may ask, how many times do you have to renew licenses or keep track of anything when it comes to certifications and stuff?
Ooh, it's very annoying. Some states, it just depends on how many state licenses that I do have.
Hmm.
Exactly, way too many times. It's so it's not something that is the same across
It's
the
a
board in the
nightmare.
US. Here go your answer. Thank you, guys. Here you go, Addie. It's just too different. We can't keep up.
Way too many. Okay, so I think, and I tried it out. So what I did was I went onto the internet, had Claude search some licenses which were granted, and then the due dates coming up and all that stuff. And I kind of played around with it, and it worked beautifully. So it was able to build me another tracker, which
Hmm.
kept a track on all my licensing numbers, start date, end date. And then on top of that, we were able to build an automation which would notify me over email or just in my chat box that this is becoming due and this is the last date to kind of get it done and keeps helps us keep a track on that. So I
Hmm.
think we'll discuss and go over that next. But uh, for stuff like this, where we as humans usually either lose track of time or eventually just get frustrated, I think this system which I'm showing you is going to change your lives because it has changed mine. And this goes beyond your finances, contracts, or licensing. You can use the same strategy to pretty much anything that you do day in, day out and get frustrated over or just spend too many hours, which necessarily you don't have to now. Oh, PA
Yeah.
Compass. So is that's the new thing coming up, Tim?
PA compact licensure has been in the works for a while now. It has to has participate in states, and what it's trying to do is essentially what it says, compact the licensure so that you don't need individual state licenses. You can work across state boards. Um, but they say it's supposed to be live in 2027. We're just waiting to see.
Well, hopefully. I sure hope things can be simpler across a lot of professions. There's too much documentation and licensing going
But
on.
you know what though? I think the important thing is that if you guys, for me, I don't really wait. I just create my system because when it goes live, I think we're gonna, see some problems and they're gonna need to fix it as well. And having the system to be ahead of the game is gonna help. And then when
For
compact
sure.
licensure could come into place, we'll drop it in chat. I mean, in Claude AI too.
All right. So now it's asking me permissions to actually upload the file. I think it's done. Yeah, uploading the workbook to your Google Drive. Then we'll switch over to the file that it just created and just take a look and probably answer the hallucination question as well. And then I'll show you one single prompt that you can just set and forget that Claude double checks its own data and make sure there was nothing that it hallucinated or just created to please you, which was I think what AIs used to do in the past. Uh, Let me see if I can see the file now. Okay, about to come up. And Fedna, if I may ask, while we wait another minute, what are the other challenges uh, that is commonly faced by all of us? Uh, Probably I can use that to for the next session on next Tuesday is kind of get yours feedback instead of me just bringing my side of point of views.
Yeah. And I would love anybody to drop it in the chat too. But most of the comments I've seen across social media and my DMs everywhere is people just 1099 is like a foreign language to them. I was at
Mm,
the AAPA And there was a vendor, they're like, "You actually know 1099?" I was kind of shocked. I'm like, he must be talking to most traditional PAs. Um, that seems to be the biggest thing
Hmm.
that I hear that people should really know and understand, because it help them understand their options and that it is an option and you can propose it. I think if people understood what it is and how it works, then they will be able to kind of weigh their options and even ask for it. And what I also see is that in healthcare, people want to, a lot of us are type A. We know everything. We want to do everything
Hmm.
instead of like working with somebody from the get-go to kind of help you with these things, like a trusted CPA or somebody who does taxes. And I think those are some of the advice that I try to give people, but I think they still want a basic understanding of 1099. That has to be like the biggest thing that I hear about.
All right, cool. So I'll look into what other um, automations or research we can do on that to better educate people for the next
Yeah.
session.
Oh, bookkeeping, the 1099, the bookkeeping,
Yeah,
how much they should save for taxes.
yeah,
And I mean, personally, I think besides the basic understanding is working with a good CPA, which means you have to network. It's going to save you time and money instead of trying to do everything by
yeah,
yourself.
for sure, for sure. Ooh, this one took its own time today.
Yeah, but I would love to hear everybody's input, some of your pain points, some of your colleagues' pain points that you've discussed with, or things that you've seen across social media.
Yep, anything. It doesn't need to be specific to your PA job. It could
Okay,
be
cool.
you getting up in the morning and doing the same stuff over and over again just to get through the day. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure we can together find a way to get most of that hassle out of your way.
Organization. Organization has to be top of my time management.
Well, actually, I let me look into time management because looking at the calendar, just studying your calendar through Claude and having it come with recommendations how you can better manage your time was amazing. I did it for one of our other clients that we work with, and his calendar was full from Monday through Saturday. And he said, Addie, I don't get any time with family. And just for fun of it, we put his calendar
Mhm.
through Claude and it says how we can find some time for family. And it actually help them save, I think, 3 hours, if not more, over the week. That you can merge these two meetings. This meeting is unnecessary. Hand it over to someone else. It asks a lot of questions. I think it helped. So there's nothing that I don't try with Claude per se. It's just a second advisor.
Yeah. There's one more comment. I think this is a great point. Whew, that credential and starting all over.
Let's
Great
start
point.
in.
So changing agencies to start a new contract. All the agencies are different. All the facilities are different.
Hmm.
And all the credentialing are different for every facility.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, the credentialing are very different. It
Hmm.
just depends on the system that they have set up. Um, yeah, and it can be time consuming too.
I might have an idea on that. Okay, so tell
Yeah.
me this, when you switch an agency or switch contracts, there are different credentials involved, but is there also a lot of paper filing involved where it takes up a lot of your time?
Um, Excellent question. For me, it doesn't because
Yes. Okay.
it doesn't because I created a system in the travel PA course. You put things in folders, you just upload things. I
No,
am
what I
very good
mean
at
is like
creating.
you're applying
Yeah.
to a different agency and they send you a long ass form to fill out.
They do. It has gotten better because you have to upload certain stuff. They only ask you to upload certain stuff. But I also tell them, I'm like, here's the documents, you can kind of do it yourself. And
Okay.
things that you can't fill out, they will also do that for you. Like you just send them the stuff, they upload it, and there are certain things that you must do like yourself, answer like yes and no questions and things like that.
Okay, so I thank you, Jim, for bringing that up. I think I might have a solution. So not exactly this, but my business has a different problem when I sign up clients because of privacy. They have different NDAs, different contracts, and different websites where I need to go and sign up as a vendor, and it takes a lot of time. So what I've done is in the past month. I've taken two samples of two contracts I've done in the past of this year, and I asked Claude that could you go to Chrome and open this link which this agency sent me or my client sent me, and fill out the form based off answers provided in this. And it took control of my Chrome browser, went in there, browsed it, fill up all the questions, and before it submitted, I just had to review them because it was the first time I was doing it.
Mhm.
But it ended up saving me a lot of time. I essentially walked away from my computer and came back like 30 minutes later with a ready and filled out form. So I think if we dig deeper into this process of changing agencies, I'm pretty sure we can build something. If you didn't know, Jim, if you put a blank PDF or a form to Claude and say, fill it up for me, since it knows you at this point or has references of your previous contracts, it will actually fill out that PDF for you. So you don't
Mm.
need to print and fill up form fields. It'll just take that PDF and fill out all the sections. And it can also Yep, yep. So, and it can also put in your signature. So what I do is I did a sign and scan of my computer and have as JPEG file. And if I need to fill something and sign, I just ask Claude that everything you need is in this folder. Just go and fill and sign this form for me, which I did today this morning as well. So, uh, as I said, sky's the limit. Uh, it is only limited by our imagination of how lazy we want to get. And I am super lazy when it comes to doing mundane tasks. This has
And we
been,
have to train Claude, and that takes time. I think with anything, the sooner you start, it just compounds over time. The information, the knowledge.
yep.
Just start training Claude ASAP. Don't get behind.
All right. So the
Wow, it's
workbook is
done.
in
Good
the
timing,
folder.
Claude.
It took forever, but it's done. Let me open up the file and see what it recommended. And I'm going to share a different screen just quick so I can show you the Excel file. All right. So here's what it created for us. Since we had different states involved, it did a flag for us based on our because I said I live in NC, but let's go in. So it captured all my income from my different employers or agencies, who was the pair, who's the what's their TIN, what is the form they supplied, if they're W-2s, and kind of build a summary of all the incoming information when it comes to income. Then it pulled out all my receipts. Now, purposely, no, all of these were just pictures. They were not Excel documents, which any AI can scan. It was all through pictures. So it was able to scan what I have spent. And if you remember earlier when I was entering the prompt, I took off 50% deductible. I wanted Claude to research. So it calculated my total expenses and the deductibles. Then it built me a tax estimate based on my Schedule C, SE, federal income tax, and it's giving me a breakdown of how much quarterly tax I can pay, and then tax saving ideas. So
Dang.
solo 1K,
Sheesh.
self-employed health insurance, HSA, log in your business mileage, home office deduction, capture
Mhm.
every ordinary expense, S Corp election, hire your spouse or family, pay estimates over time. And it also gave you these numbers, which you can kind of figure out what can apply to you. Now, since it's already built, and say you come to your tax saving ideas, but you simply do not know how to make use of that. For example, hire your spouse or family is one where I get a lot of questions. How do I do that? Or how do I get a home office deduction? How do I file that? What form is required to file that? I can simply go back and say, I love your idea. Can you show me the exact steps and forms required for claiming this deduction or whether it applies to me or not? So you can drive the conversation further. It took us probably 15 minutes to build this the first
It
time.
did.
Going forward, it'll be much quicker, much easier because it's essentially updating the documents. Now you can store it on a Google Drive, on your local computer, doesn't matter. It will always update it for you. Now, if you add one line to this that scan my folder and my incoming emails from January 1st, it'll do the same thing. The only reason I didn't do the email part today because it takes much longer for the first time. But all you gotta add is scan my emails since the starting date of this financial year. It'll pull out all the photos, expenses, bills coming in. It'll even go down to that point that identify if some expenses are not capturable in your taxes. It'll leave them out and let you know. So this was tax. Uh, Newsflash, I did my taxes this year using the same method to Claude, as I said earlier, and it worked out fine. Everything was accepted. My CPA for the first time never came back and said, "Hey, I need more information." So uh, try it out. When I do send the recording will have all the prompts I'm sharing today. So pretty much you can automate this with copy paste.
That's pretty amazing.
All right. We were almost time. I'm gonna show one more thing because I can pretty much cover uh, uh, the accreditation part because it's pretty much the same, but I can cover it in the next session. But before I
Yes.
let you go, guys, I want to show you something really important, and it only takes a second. So, how do you leverage what you've seen today and automate it? Because this was a one-time chat. So here's what I want you to do. I want to copy this prompt, which we just built for the first time. Don't use it in the chat. Automate it from the first time you ever do this. Go to Claude Code. It's the same thing, but it is
Mm.
even more responsive, uses less tokens, and go to routines. And I would paste that prompt here. So what I've said is the folder contains blah, blah, blah. Do this, do this, do this. I will select cloud. Oh, sorry. When I select cloud, it just takes me back, which is fine. I'll just paste it again and it'll ask me to select a repo. So don't worry about this. These are all-night repos where you can store files. You don't need that. And if you're using a Google folder or if you're using a Microsoft OneDrive folder or pretty much any folder that Claude can access, just add look at my Google folder, put in the same prompt, give it a name. I'll just say finances, schedule. As I said, you could do daily, you could do weekly, and you could just take out all the connectors that you don't use. I just need Gmail for this. I need Google Drive for this. I don't need anything else. And create. That's it. Exactly on the same time, it'll run as per your schedule. Do everything and keep updating the Excel sheet that we just created, or a Google sheet, or anything that you have online in whatever format you choose the output to be. Um, as you progress through the year, you'll find that it keeps not only updating your financial statements, but also capturing important data. Because I can assure you, all of us forget to capture some expenses by the end of the year because we don't have the time to go through every single line item of our credit card statement or bills. one thing I could not do today is put in my credit card statements because that would have revealed personal information.
Yeah.
But in the same folder, dump everything. Now, people have asked me what are the concerns with security. So here's the most important part. You go into settings, you go into privacy, and you turn this off. Help improve our AI models. That was the only reason they were capturing some part of your data. When you turn this off, they will not capture your data. I've given it a lot of thought. I even upload sensitive work with sensitive documents now. God, pray tell, will tell me maybe years down the line that I made a mistake. But those sensitive documents are also available on my Google Drive, which I so happen to trust, but I for sure know they're scanning my data. So it's on the same level, better because they have a clear guidance how to turn that off. Uh, Whenever you work with financial or sensitive information, please turn this off. And
Mhm.
Anthropic has made a statement that they do not store personal data if you turn this off. So I am pretty confident. For bigger companies, what they have also done, not that it applies to all of us, but if you ever want to change and be 100% confident that none of your data goes anywhere is the enterprise plan. It is just a bit more expensive, but you ever come into a situation where you got tons of data to analyze, but it is highly sensitive, just upgrade to the enterprise plan for that month, for that project, and scale back down. I have done it for one of my clients this past week, and it worked great. Just wanted to share this so that y'all aware how to secure data once you're using Claude. So the next topic I'll cover next week, along with some more amazing stuff. Back to you, Fedna, for now.
Oh, really appreciate it. You're so this is amazing. Making my life easier and everybody else's too. You can find Addie on my in my community. Addie is also on LinkedIn. I think you're pretty active on LinkedIn, right?
Kind
Um,
of, yes.
yes, but I would love to see you guys here next week. Please share with your friends or anybody who can actually benefit from this. If you want to know more about the Travel PA Your Way 12th community, I will drop the website right here at the traveling PA.com with two L's for the community. Other than that, thank you so much. Addie, where else can they find you? LinkedIn, the
I have my
community.
websites. I dropped in last week. I'm going to drop it
Okay.
again with the recordings, anyways. But guys, I am honored to be a member of the WhatsApp community that we have. Since I am there, if you have questions about AI, technology, branding, anything, I'm happy to hop in and give you whatever insights I might be able to help you with. So please don't refrain from asking questions in the community. Fedna has an amazing thing going on, and just being on that
Building.
platform is beautiful.
This is going to be exciting. You guys are here early, so really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Don't want to take up more of your time. And I'll see you next week for session 3. Bring some friends.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye-bye.
Good night.